Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
A very warm and beautiful start to the weekend, but a weak cold front will bring a slight change into our Sunday. I'll let you know how much will cool down.
Also ramping up security, how UNC Chapel Hill is responding to recent threats targeting its campus and other schools. Plus, $1 million price tag. Multiple agencies say that's the total amount of property loss for the victims of recent car break-ins. What we know about the theft ring and who's responsible. Summer is making a return out there. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Eric Miller. After a taste of fall this past week, we had a very warm start to the weekend. Meteorologist Grant Skinner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center for us tonight. Grant, those are some changes we're expecting tomorrow, though.
Yeah, temperatures will drop just a bit into our Sunday thanks to a weak cold front. I want to start with what we saw today, a very warm start to the weekend. Today, 89 at RDU, 90 in Fayetteville. That was about 1 degree below what we saw yesterday in Fayetteville and a couple degrees below what we saw at RDU, but still very, very warm out there. More of a summer-like feel for the first part of the weekend. But again, those changes will come tomorrow. Temperatures still in the 80s right now, 86 in Raleigh, 83 Fayetteville, 85 Rocky Mount, Southern Pines still at 84 degrees. Roxborough, you're sitting at 82 degrees this evening. We had just a couple of showers and brief storms, mainly south and west of the Triangle, but they've mostly fizzled out, leaving a small rain chance this evening, but most places stay dry. You can see from Pinehurst right now, tons of blue sky, just a few clouds out there. Temperatures tomorrow, though, slightly cooler, low to mid 80s. We're going to see some roller coaster temperatures, though, over the next week. I'll let you know how warm will warm up by the middle of the coming week, and also we'll talk about a better rain chance that's coming. That's coming up.
Grant, thank you very much. UNC Chapel Hill is ramping up security. It comes after UNC Wilmington's campus went on lockdown this week due to the threat of a shooter that turned out to be false. Social media posts also made unsubstantiated threats to the Chapel Hill campus. WRAL's Adley Cadlabar joins us live from campus right now. Allie, you've talked to several students who say they have noticed an increase in security.
And within a span of 30 minutes, Eric, we saw 3 officers pass by the bell tower earlier this afternoon. And students tell me they have noticed more police on campus and on East Franklin Street. Take a look at this statement UNC Chapel Hill made yesterday on social media. The university says its threat assessment team and UNC police are closely watching for any incidents, especially those that may be similar to UNCW's false threats of gunmen on campus. There are no threats at this time, but there are more officers on campus. Students say they saw more police on East Franklin Street and on campus ever since the incident Thursday night.
For me, being a student, I feel yes, there should be an increase in protection because, we're just trying to get an education.
I think just having that extra security measure, even if it just was a false threat, it's always important to keep awareness up and realize stuff like this can't happen.
Now, the university is asking students to sign up for Alert Carolina. That's their emergency notification system at this time. Reporting live at UNC Chapel Hill, Allie Cadlabar, WRAL News.
I'm Luis Hernandez in the WRAL Live Center. A North Carolina man was arrested at State Farm Stadium in Arizona ahead of Sunday's Charlie Kirk Memorial. This is 42-year-old Joshua Runkles. He was charged with impersonating a law enforcement officer and carrying a weapon in a prohibited place. The Secret Service says it happened Friday when the man was, quote, exhibiting suspicious behavior. Now, Runkles is from Cameron, North Carolina. That's in Moore County. Court documents show when asked to identify himself, Runkles presented a Franklin County Sheriff's Office badge. Now, we've reached out to the Franklin County Sheriff's Office to see if Runkles has worked for them at any point in time. He was also a registered pilot. The Secret Service is investigating why he was there. Runkles has since been released on bond. Now, police are expecting around 100,000 people ahead of this Charlie Kirk Memorial in Glendale, Arizona tomorrow. That will be happening at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at State Farm Stadium. The event will include speeches from President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. The event is receiving Super Bowl-like security measures, Eric.
Louis, a lot to keep track of there. Thank you very much. A Clayton candlelight vigil for Charlie Kirk gets underway in about an hour, and the group Turning Point Action and the Wake GOP will host a candlelight vigil tomorrow night at 7 at the Wake County Republican Party headquarters in Raleigh. We learned the name today of a woman killed in a crash last night at Tryon and Trailwood Roads in Raleigh. Police identified her as 39-year-old Lena Ramos Velasco. She was a passenger in a car that was traveling west on Tryon Road. Police say that car was making an unprotected U-turn at Trailwood when it was hit by another vehicle. 3 other people were hurt, including a child who is expected to be okay. No one is charged, but the investigation is ongoing. New at 6, crews responded to a fire at a shopping center on Millbrook Road. The WRAL breaking news tracker saw firefighters on the scene putting out some hot spots near a building. The building was blocked off by fire line caution tape. We're working to learn more about what caused the fire. Well, stolen cars, guns taken, and chases with police. Multiple agencies are investigating a theft ring that's operated from Durham to Apex to Pittsburgh with a combined property loss for the victims of over $1 million. WRAL's Monica Casey shows us the arrests made so far and what's in the warrants.
These warrants say from October of last year through August of this year, a group of suspects from Durham have broken into cars, stolen them, and led police on chases all over the Triangle. These warrants say the total property loss due to theft is over $1 million. The warrants say this theft ring is using key fob reprogramming devices to steal cars. In one case, surveillance video shows suspects breaking a sunroof to get into a Lexus. In June and August of this year, Durham County Sheriff's deputies have tried to stop those stolen cars, and drivers have led them on chases. In some of these cases, stolen guns are also recovered, including one that came from Rollsville and another from Clayton. Durham police say in their warrant they have linked one man, 19-year-old Jimmy Colbreth, to more than 18 incidents. He now faces a series of charges in Wake County as well. Durham police say the data on his phone showed evidence of conspiracy, writing in the warrant, quote, messages indicate Colbreth and associates were selling the vehicles and other stolen property to make money. This arrest comes after teenagers in Raleigh faced consequences for more than 100 car break-ins and 8 stolen vehicles back in July. Colbreth has multiple pending charges in Durham as well. His next court date is set for early October. Reporting in Durham, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
And WRAL has covered the rise in car theft since the pandemic and the ways thieves are using more sophisticated technology to clone certain cars. You can find more information on our website. State Highway Patrol is investigating a crash in Wake County that killed 2 people. It happened at the intersection of Fowler Road and Zebulon Road. A firefighter on the scene told the WRAL breaking news tracker that 2 people were taken to the hospital. We're working to learn more about their conditions and what caused this crash. A man was arrested in Charlotte who police say carried a gun and other weapons onto the light rail. This comes almost 1 month after a woman was stabbed to death on the train. Police say 28-year-old Thomas Paul was arrested at the same light rail station where 23-year-old Irina Zarutska was murdered on August 22nd. They say he had a gun, pepper spray, and handcuffs and told police he was working security. Investigators learned that was not true, and he was charged with having a weapon on city property. Tomorrow, one of North Carolina's largest Latin American cultural events gets underway. We're talking about La Fiesta del Pueblo here. It'll be taking over downtown Raleigh. It comes after a similar event in Charlotte was canceled due to concerns over the current climate on immigration. The festival typically sees more than 20,000 people. Organizers said they can understand if they see fewer people this year. Well, it's been nearly 1 year since Hurricane Helene changed western North Carolina forever. A new WRAL documentary, Helene, What We Lost, What We Found, takes viewers inside communities devastated by the most damaging storm in state history. The WRAL documentary team traveled all over the mountains, capturing what was lost in record flooding and mudslides and what neighbors discovered in themselves as they began to rebuild.
When it happens to the place that you love and your friends' businesses, it's just a lot. It's a lot.
You know, we cry, we pray, we talk, we laugh, you know, we deal with it as a unit and supporting each other. That's what gets us through.
Well, the documentary includes exclusive interviews with families still grieving and business owners still trying to recover. Helene, What We Lost and What We Found airs Thursday, September 25th on WRAL TV and streams on WRAL.com, the WRAL News app, and WRAL's YouTube channel. Wake County's 24 fallen law enforcement officers were honored and remembered at today's Honor Run. The 5K was hosted by Back the Blue Incorporated. Proceeds from the Honor Run support the surviving family members and beneficiaries of fallen law enforcement officers. Everyone who works with the organization is a volunteer, so all proceeds are donated. Sights, sounds, and flavors of the world. Coming up, a look at what this year's International Festival was like at the State Fairgrounds. Plus, weekend buzz, Bugfest returns to downtown Raleigh. We take a look at what this year's event has to offer. And if you see breaking news, have a story tip, or shoot video or pictures of our weather, please report it to us. Go to WRAL.com/report it to send your video, pictures, or tip to our news team. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Taking a live look there over Goldsboro this evening. You can see that sun shining bright on this very last taste of summer we're getting to enjoy here. We'll have another check at that forecast in just a few minutes. Visitors to the State Fairgrounds in Raleigh today experience the sights, sounds, and flavors of the world. Now you're looking at the 2025 International Festival. It continues until 7 p.m. today. Attendees were able to see dances and taste the cuisine from many different nations all over the world. Some of it sweet, some of it savory, all of it delicious. There were also cultural demonstrations and a lot of international clothing, jewelry, and housewares for sale at the various booths. Well, dragons, dancing, so much more. It was all part of Asia Fest 2025 today. Cary's Coca Booth Amphitheater hosted the celebration. It's the 10th year for the festival that celebrates Asian heritage and culture. The festival has over 100 exhibits and activities, including, of course, the signature dragon boat race. WRAL's Renee Chu emceed. Many attendees say this is a great chance to get to bring the local Asian community closer.
In my experience, when I moved here, I didn't really know a lot of Asians. And so when I was able to move and experience these events, I was able to connect with a lot of, of my people, I'd say.
Well, the festival draws roughly 10,000 attendees every year. Bugfest was back at the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences today. There were more than 100 exhibits there. Visitors were excited to see many insects and arachnids up close. Some folks were even willing to touch and hold the bugs themselves. This is one of the biggest and, of course, most popular events the museum hosts every single year.
We have really good resources here for outreach, education, and science, stuff that I've been visiting since I was a kid and my siblings themselves have been doing. I think together we've all recognized that it's important and that it's a time to just have fun in a way that's different from our normal day-to-day.
And if you hurry, this year's Bugfest is still going on. It'll wrap up at 7 p.m. today. Well, I got to say, Grant, summertime in North Carolina sometimes feels like Bugfest, especially as you get out closer to the coast. And we are getting one last final taste of summer this weekend.
Yeah, very, very warm start to the weekend. Temperatures at around 90 degrees both yesterday and today. But the good news is it'll be slightly cooler and more comfortable by Sunday. Temperatures only in the low to mid 80s tomorrow afternoon. But then we're back to more of the summer-like feel by the middle of this week. Highs back to the mid to upper 80s, some spots close to 90, and then a better chance for showers and storms. That's going to be ahead of a cold front, so warmer ahead of the front, then a better chance for showers and storms. Finally, that front passes later in the coming week, and we'll talk more about that in a second. But I want to start with dual Doppler 5000. You can see this evening most of the isolated showers that were south and west of the triangle have dissipated. A brief shower can't be ruled out to the south and west, but most everyone will remain dry. And it's beautiful out there. This is the view from Raleigh this evening. Just a few clouds in the sky, lots of sunshine. It's going to be a gorgeous rest of your Saturday evening. 86 degrees in Raleigh still, 85 in Rocky Mount, 84 in Southern Pines, 81 in Roxborough. We hit 89 in Raleigh. We hit 90 degrees in Fayetteville today. The rest of this evening, again, a brief shower chance, but most everyone stays dry. Mid 70s by 9 o'clock, right around 70 degrees by 11 p.m. this evening. By tomorrow morning, a comfortable start. Temperatures in the mid-60s, and we'll have mostly clear skies to start the day. So just a few clouds in the sky to start and staying beautiful throughout the day tomorrow. Temperatures only reaching the low to mid-80s, so not quite as hot out there. So it'll be a comfortable start to next week. But again, just head towards fall. The official start of fall is Monday. It's going to be just above average for our temperatures. 83 Sunday, 84 on Monday. Once we get to Tuesday and Wednesday ahead of that next front, that's when we see that bigger warm up. Mid to upper 80s, some spots close to 90 degrees, especially on Wednesday. And as the showers and storms move in to end the week, that's when we'll see temperatures start to drop back into the low to mid 80s across the area. So that's our next rainmaker. It's a frontal system that will move in from west to east across the southeast U.S., bringing a good chance for showers and storms, mainly Friday and Saturday of the coming week. And highs will then drop to the upper 70s and low 80s by Friday. So finally closer to average by the time we hit the end of the coming week and the start of next week. So looking at rainfall totals, we've been in need of some rain. We've had some drought conditions now across portions, like eastern portions of our area, right along I-95. Raleigh, an inch and a quarter over the next week, and then 3/4 of an inch towards Fayetteville. The best chance for showers and storms will likely be back to the west towards the mountains. We'll see, I would say we'll have a good chance for showers and storms Friday and Saturday, but they'll see more rain back to the west. So that's kind of what we're looking at over the next week with that front moving in, bringing a better chance for showers and storms. Also watching Gabrielle as the 5 p.m. advisory, 580 miles southeast of Bermuda, maximum winds up to 65. It's stronger today, and it will continue to move to the northwest, then to the north, then to the northeast. Likely a Category 2 hurricane by at least the end of the weekend or the start of the next week. But again, staying away from our area, it's going to curve out to sea. Also watching one more area with a low chance of development, but not a threat to our area. A warm start to fall, very warm Tuesday and Wednesday, finally closer to average by the end of the week with better chances for showers and storms. We're in need of some rain, so hoping it'll be more widespread by the end of the week.
Absolutely, Grant. Thank you very much. All right, what'll it take to win? Coming up, Chris Lee and Panthers beat reporter Sheena Quick discuss how the team can improve ahead of tomorrow's showdown with the Atlanta Falcons.
All right, let's talk about the Carolina Panthers, if you can stomach it just for a few minutes. I've got Sheena Quick right here with me. She covers the Carolina Panthers all the time. So, Sheena, let's talk about Bryce Young and his performance from this past Sunday. It was technically his career high in passing yards, 328 yards, but we did see those 2 turnovers in the first quarter, which makes 5 for him this season. What's going wrong with Bryce? We're not seeing the pullover or the changeover from what we saw last year.
Well, the part that's kind of perplexing is the protection is different, and I don't think anybody was expecting that. They signed everybody back from last year, starters and reserves on that offensive line. And at the beginning of the game, it was a protection issue. It came through kind of unblocked, knocked the ball out, boom, recovered in the end zone. Then the next one, he probably should have taken a sack there, but Bryce is always looking downfield, looking to make a play, and it did not work out for him. So, but what we have seen is kind of a slow start, so to speak, and I'm sure Panthers fans wish that he would kind of get it going, but he always seems to rebound instead of usually when you see mistakes that drastic to where you're in a 10-0 hole at the beginning of the game, it's hard for quarterbacks to recover from that. So the fact that he could do that, I think is a good testament.
He did recover. It does feel like in some ways that him and Dave Canales haven't been on the same page the way they probably should be. What do you see with that, and what do they have to do to get on the same page?
Again, the timing, and I know a lot of people will say, listen, preseason, this is not an issue. You guys should have at this point. They need reps, and I think that's just what it is. Yeah. Like you saw as the game went on, they settled. Bryce started to get into his game, get into the flow of the game, made some really big throws, good decisions with the ball, and it's just a matter of timing. But again, he's kind of proven all the fans right that those starters definitely needed those preseason snaps. One
of the things that I said on Panthers Playbook before the Adam Thielen trade was I don't think they should trade him because out of everybody in that offensive wide receiver crew, Adam Thielen was the one person that Bryce could count on last year.
And the year before. Now he's not here, and it's an all-new group of people. Teteroy McMillan is what he has been, I guess, pumped up to be. Mm-hmm. But then also we see Xavier Legette, who has an opportunity to step up. No Jalen Coker because he's on IR right now, and he has not done it. The only NFL wide receiver ever
to have 8+ targets his way and finish with -2 yards. What is happening with your homeboy from Mullen, South Carolina?
I don't know what is going on with it. I don't know what's eating Xavier Legette. You know, they asked what's eating Gilbert Gray. I don't know what's going on with Xavier. You could kind of see, let's be fair with those, some of those targets were kind of forced. Like Dave said to us today, he's trying to get him some looks, and sometimes that can be forced if it's not there. But I do think that some of the things that fans are frustrated with are outside of targets and receptions and receiving yards. They're not feeling like they're seeing enough hustle. They're not feeling like he's getting to his blocks or getting back to the line fast enough.
Well, hopefully we'll see what happens with there. The Panthers also dealing with some injuries as well. Sheena Quick, of course, you probably seen her running around Raleigh before back in the day, former NC State track star. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
Our thanks to Chris and Sheena there. All right, 2 big local games still underway right now. Let's get you caught up first with UNC and Central Florida. Right now, the Knights are ahead 27-9, headed into the 4th quarter. A rough game for the Heels so far. And a close game underway, 3rd quarter right now between NC State and Duke. The Blue Devils currently ahead 28-35. Duke with that 35 number they just scored a couple seconds ago. A very exciting game there. And we appreciate you joining us on what's hopefully an exciting evening for you here, your Saturday night. Have a good evening, everybody.